This week we'll have one less team fighting for this top spot. This is Sports Hour. It is going to be a tough week for some of these teams. Some of these teams is going to be an absolute blow. Because last week, we had some surprising upsets. And let's go ahead and look at those games. Last week, week 9. I got that now. Yeah. First surprising up. They had some pretty close games for a lot of the first part of the week. We had an upset, although it wasn't really a big of an upset, on Monday with the Cardinals being able to defeat the Bobcats. Upset number 2, it was the Tigers absolutely demolished the Giants, winning that game there. An upset because of the Packers beating the Lions. Even the Lions are favored by 31. Still, most of the games went pretty one side, one way. Although it was a lot of these games were really close, it just didn't work out a lot in their favor. Surprisingly, the Bears weren't able to handle themselves and lost against the Pirates. The Cats were able to beat the Lightning, leaving two teams still completely defeated. Looking at the divisional standings right now, this is how it will work. If the playoffs were to happen today, these teams will make it in. Dogs would face off. The Dogs would end up facing off against the Knights. Oh boy, that would be a disaster. The Falcons would face off against the 7th seed, the Indians. The Bears would face off. The Browns would face off against the Dragons. Tigers would end up facing against the Panthers. That would be what would happen at the same time if the playoffs were to occur today. Obviously, we're not. The playoffs are we're only about halfway through the season. A little bit more halfway now, because there's 16 weeks. On the other side, let me see what I'm going to get, because the Colts are the team leading right now. Did I duplicate someone? Alright, so looking at this side, if this were to occur, playoffs were to occur right now, as we are only a little more halfway. The playoffs would be the Stars facing off against the Jets right now. The 2nd seed Werewolves would face off against the 7th seed Beagles. third seed Warriors would face off against the sixth seed Otters. The Leland Cats would face off against the Colts, who are honestly kind of weird because the Leland Cats are actually better than the Colts at this moment in time. The Leland Cats are way up here at 6-3, have one of the better offenses. The Colts are kind of lousy, although they do have a better defense overall. Now, it is going to be a very tough week for some of these teams because they are going to be still, at this point, kind of looking to find their way into the NBA, into the World Playoffs. That's not really, it's the U.S. playoffs, which is the 4 divisions that are across the United States. It's not going to go into that today, but it is something that is going to come up, and the teams that have to make it in, which is going to come out to whoever wins the bubble, which is really the Super Bowl for this one. The bubble winner, the bubble loser, makes it into that position. I don't want to get that up right now, but basically, it works like March Madness. Actually, the brackets are exactly the same as March Madness. It's just that it's different divisions. Then it goes to whoever is the highest remaining seed. That's in the NBL. The highest remaining seed in the ABL, and those can fluctuate a little bit in case that seed 1 wins, makes it all the way to the bubble. They get clinched there, they win, and then the seed 1, the other side also goes in. It would be seed 2 in that case that does it. The highest remaining seed is the context now. Whoever has the highest defense, whoever has the highest offense, will make it every out. To talk about basically who it is, we don't know who's going to make it off this one, but basically come to the highest defense would make it in. The highest defense right now is all the way down here. It's the Werewolves. The Werewolves would be the highest defense, assuming they don't win the bubble or make it to the bubble and lose. The highest offense is the Carolina Panthers. That's the Panthers. I say Carolina. They're not called Carolina Panthers. They're just called the Panthers. They're number 1, but assuming they make it all the way there, then we go on to the next one, which is the Dogs. If the Dogs make it, then so on. You get the point. It goes on and on until we have all 16 teams. There's 16. And the best 3 records in the NBL and the best records in the ABL, and then the next 4 best records, no matter which side they are, go in. And those fluctuate, so it would be like, let's say if you have one that has a 9-9 and then the season, it could be here, or it could be here, or it could be anywhere. It just depends on where it happens on that. That being said, let's go ahead and get into what is going to happen for this next week. Now, this is going to be a week that's going to be really complicated because the game of the week is going to be the game of the week, probably the game of the year because in the season, because of the context of who is facing off. The Werewolves and Dogs will face off against each other at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And this is going to definitely be a huge game because both these teams are undefeated at this current time. It's going to be tough because this is going to be a game that can literally decide who is going to be the number 1 seed and who's the best team. I don't really look at all the team basics, but this is going to be a tough game. Alright, let's get into it. We got the Dragons and the Kings. The Kings are just not really looking out hot right now, although they did do decently. Dragons are just showing up everything. Their 2 losses if you look at the Dragons, losses of the last couple of weeks. Dragons got surprised against the Jets. I think they got surprised last week. Yeah, they lost last week. Those teams were really lucky. I don't think they're going to get super lucky going into it, and they're not going to get lucky against the Kings. It's going to be the Dragons for me to win this game. We got the Bears and Indians. The Indians surprisingly beat the. Oh, I did not do that right. Deep. Come on. There we go. Looking at the Bears and Indians, it's tough because this is not going to be a fun game for either one of these teams. Both teams are, not terrible. It's just the Bears have just had some really bad luck. But here is the catch for me. The Indians, I think, got really lucky this last week. If I remember correctly, the Indians got really lucky. These games all go should go down one. The Indians still have teams that players are going to be suspended. That's going to go for 2. The Dragons, by the way, I forgot about the Dragons. Dragons also had players in there. It didn't change much for their games this last week. They still absolutely demolished them. That's another thing I should have thought about because that could actually change. I might go back to that just to look at the things here. I think the problem is about who they play, and they still have a pretty decent team. They're not gonna have anyone back off of that regard. Back onto that. I think it's still gonna be the Dragons that win that game. Overall. We got the Bears and the Indians. Indians have a few people suspended still. Indians last week. They lose or they win. Yeah. And the Indians actually. Oh, sorry. The Indians played the Dragons last week. I'm an idiot. All right. Wait. What week are we doing? That's why the Dragons. That's why. I forgot the Indians and Dragons played last week, and the reason that the Indians were able to win that. And the Indians were able to win that game. Indians surprisingly were able to win that, and I don't know how to say that for this game. Indians still have players suspended, and it's going to be tough for me to say this. I'm going to go with the opposite here and say it's going to be the Bears that win a surprise victory of this one. I might be completely wrong about that, and I'm not going to be surprised if I am completely wrong about that. But the Indians do have some players in it, and they got lucky in that game against the Dragons. Yeah, Indians were able to get everything going that they need to, but we're playing against the Bears. The Bears are not going to be that easy, even though the Bears are not as nearly that good, aren't nearly as good of a team. To me, this is the real test because the Bears are a really bad team overall. And if the Indians can't win that game, it's going to be tough. And I'm going to say right now, I'm going to pick the Bears. I'm going to be wrong, and I'm okay with that because I feel like the Indians just have few people that are suspended, and that's going to come down to that game. The Foxes and the Packers. Okay. That's a tough. That's a tough one. Because, in my opinion, it could go either way. Uh, and it's a pretty close toss up on that. I'm gonna say it's so tough that I almost want to flip a coin for this one because this is actually gonna be a tough game. Looking at the Packers, Packers are really have a really good offense and really good defense versus the Foxes, who have a really good offense and really bad and a decent defense. So, in context, it should really go in favor of the Falcons winning here. I'm gonna pick the Falcons, but I don't know. Hawks and Tigers. I don't know how on earth the Tigers got a huge win last week because they shouldn't have won by that much. Looking at week 9 when the Tigers faced off, they absolutely demolished the Giants. The Giants didn't have any injuries, didn't have anybody going out of play. They just had maybe bad coaching. And that really hurt them for somewhere else throughout the entire game. If they struggle again this week, the Giants, I don't even know what's going to happen. But for the Tigers have a really good coaching staff, really good fans. I'm going to say it is going to be the Tigers that win this game. I don't think the Hawks are going to get lucky 2 weeks in a row. Because the Hawks did win, even though they won by 1. But they won against the 0-9 team, so who cares about that? Alright, we got the Legends and the Cardinals. That's a tough one. It's a tough one because there's just not really any giving way. Because both these teams are pretty bad when it comes to the fact here. And I don't know which one to go here because, in theory, this is tough for multiple reasons. I feel like the Cardinals, I think the Legends Cardinals have played before this season, right? I think they played earlier this year. They did. They played it, and the Legends won that game. So this is the second time they've played each other. That is tough. I'm going to give the Cardinals the win here. But I will say this. If the Legends show up and win this game, it will be a very good victory for them. And if they somehow ended up making the playoffs or being tied for the playoff position, the Legends will have the +2 advantage against the Cardinals. So if they're tied, Legends get the win. Pirates and Warriors, ain't no way it's going to be anywhere close. That +14, make it +50. It's not going to be close. Jets and Bulldogs should be close. It should be a close game. I think it's the second time they'll face off against each other. I don't know. Um, that I'm liking this matchup here. Are they in the same division? Oh, they're on the same division. No wonder. I Bulldogs are favorite here, and honestly, I can see it doing it. I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs winning this game, mostly because the Jets, while the Jets do have a good team, they're kind of iffy in those games that they actually won. So I'm gonna go with the Jets. The Bulldogs win this one. Angels and Saints, ain't no way this is gonna go anywhere close. I'm going to say this: Angels and Saints are in the same division. I think this will be their second time facing off against each other. Let's see which week they faced off. This has got to be the second time facing off, right? Oh, maybe not. This will be their first matchup. Wow. I'm going to pick the Saints. I know that I'm totally saying the Saints are that the Angels are going to lose this game, but when I take a look at the matters, with looking at the matter here, Angels. Well, I've just had a really tough time playing as teams overall. They've played a couple games that they shouldn't have won. They didn't win. The Saints have played games that they should have lost. They've done really well in. The two games that they won were against pretty tough opponents, I think. Making it right, making sure I'm right about that. They had a pretty close game here against the Falcons. They beat the Tigers, so that was a week one. So they shouldn't have beaten them. They got demolished. They got demolished. They demolished. They got pretty heavily demolished. They got demolished. Demolished. That was a pretty close game. Why would I pick them? You know what? No. We're putting the Angels back on top here. Saints are getting demolished every game. There's just no way that works out in my favor if they happen to win this game. Stars and Knights. I really want to pick to the Knights' favor, but I think Stars win this one. The Stars are just really good. All right, I'm gonna come back to the Werewolves and Dogs game. Lightning. If the Lightning somehow win this game, it will be shocking because the Lions have struggled last week, but have not struggled in any other week. So this is the only week they've struggled with. Ravens Giants, tough matchup. I'm on the Ravens. I think the Giants are going to lose this game. It's going to be a close game, no doubt. 26 points, not even close to that. Dolphins Lynx. Did Lynx win this last week? I think they lost. Oh yeah, they lost pretty badly. But on the other hand, the Dolphins were able to win against the Colts. So, but it's a divisional game. I'm gonna go with the Lynx winning this game, but I don't know. That's a tough one. We got the Beagles and Otters. Give me the Otters winning this one. Yeah. Bobcats and Colts. Bobcats are going to have a hard time, but they're going to pull up a victory winning this game. Colts have not looked well in the last couple weeks. They're going to win this game. That is the Bobcats, not the Colts. What am I doing? It's going to be the Colts to win this week against the Bobcats. I had the wrong one. Oh, Chargers and UNC. I like both these teams. Give me UNC to win this game. UNC looks a lot better off right now, and I will say that's going to be a really good game. Browns and Falcons. This is going to be a tough one. For me, this could go either way. Is this a divisional matchup? I don't think it is. The Browns facing off against the Falcons. It is a divisional matchup. Oh my goodness, they're both at the top. So, what happened the last time? Did they face off each other before? They faced off before. Nope. But not on that one. They might not have. They have not faced off yet, but they're going to face off again. And this one, I'm going to give the Browns the favor. I just shaved, so my hair's kind of bothering me here. Huskies, okay, let's go quickly off these next ones here. Huskies easily over the Superman. Cats over the Atham. And in this game, yeesh. Give me the Panthers to win that one. That is all for this week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And next week will be these will be the teams that will face off against each other. We'll see you. And I'll see you next time on Sports Hour.